The last thing that we need to fill out for each body paragraph is an explanation. Each piece of evidence that we use in a body paragraph has to have an explanation of why we have that piece of evidence and how it connects back to our claim. So, for example, in my first body paragraph, the piece of evidence that I use is that the National Association for the Education of Young Children recommends stress as a way for students to reduce stress. So now underneath that, I need to explain how this proves that kids need to have recess. So my explanation says this shows that recess is essential for mental health. It is also a proven way to reduce stress. So I have two sentences that give more information about my piece of evidence. That means that I need to know my topic well so that I can give an explanation on it. The next piece of evidence says recess also offers a socially structured means for managing stress by adapting. So for that piece of evidence, I said recess allows students a way to cope with their stress. Rather than lashing out in class, kids can relieve their stress in a way that is appropriate. So you can see that I went through my graphic organizer, and for each piece of evidence, I have an explanation that goes along with it. Each of my explanations are at least 2 sentences. So I'm just elaborating more on the evidence that I gave. So when we get down to the third body paragraph, this body paragraph is focused on kids needing a break from school. So you can see I started my explanation here that goes along with my first piece of evidence. Kids can only concentrate for 40 minutes before they need a break. So my explanation to go along with that says school days are around 7 hours long and students are expected to sit in a desk for most of that time. However, kids cannot concentrate for that long of a period. They need more breaks throughout their day. Now I go to my evidence 2 that says Dr. Romina Barros says that kids need breaks in order to do better in school. So now I need to explain what that means a little bit more. I need to explain why that shows that kids need recess. So what I shouldn't do is I shouldn't just rewrite what that piece of evidence says. It wouldn't make sense for me to say this shows that kids need breaks in order to do better in school. That would not be a good explanation for this because it just repeated exactly what the piece of evidence said. So instead, I need to give some more information. I'm explaining why my piece of evidence proves that kids need recess. So if my reason says that kids need breaks in order to do better in school, I need to give an explanation that shows why that shows that they need recess. So what I might type for this is, this shows that kids will perform better with their academics by having recess. Recess gives kids a break from academics, but ultimately helps them earn better grades. So I had 2 sentences that just elaborated a little bit more on my piece of evidence. Now I get down to evidence 3. Kids who get at least a 15-minute break at some point during the school day are better behaved in class. So I need another explanation that goes along with my piece of evidence that kids who have recess are better behaved in class. This shows that teachers can better manage their classes by giving students an extra break in their day. Recess allows kids to let go of their frustrations, which then allows them to behave better in class. So I just explained more. So now you can see I have this entire body paragraph done. You can see I have my reason up at the top, my conclusion sentence at the bottom, and I have 3 pieces of evidence with 3 explanations in between. So you can see what that looks like from top to bottom. This entire body paragraph 3 is all about kids getting a break from school. So my reason, my topic sentence, my conclusion sentence, my evidence, my explanation, all has to do with kids needing a break from school. So now what you're going to do, you'll go back into your graphic organizer, and today you are just going to focus on the orange parts. So look at all of your pieces of evidence and start typing those explanations for your pieces of evidence. Read what your evidence says, and then write at least 2 sentences to explain that piece of evidence more, or to explain why that proves what your claim is, your opinion. When you are done, raise your hand so that a teacher can check your explanations before you move on to the next part.